Here she is. Francine, how you doing?
I'm fine, thanks, Dean. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. All the better for seeing you. We've had a few chats today, haven't we? We've enjoyed each other's company. But I'm just inspired by your story. I am inspired. I'm sorry, I keep using that word inspired, but for me, Frontierland's about really bringing people with a story, and you have a great story.
Thank you.
You're an Eastern Cape lady.
Yes.
You were born just down the road here. Tell me about that. Tell me about your upbringing and what makes Francine Zana? What makes you tick?
Okay, my name is Francine Zana. I was born and raised in Port Elizabeth. In fact, I was born in Kucha. And then me and my family we later moved to Motherwell. So I'm the second child out of 5, second born, but I act like the older one. So, yeah.
PJ Powers.
Yeah.
We know the singer, of course, famous for World in Union, that rugby anthem and things. What happened when she visited? You made an impression on her, didn't you?
Yeah. PJ, after I think we're still coming to how I started the company and everything like that. But as after the blessings from the boss that I can market my company while I was still working. I remember I went to PJ Power's room, and it was around August, and she was invited to a women event that was going to be held in Motherwell. So I can talk. One thing about me, I can talk.
I would never have guessed.
So, and part of the skills that as I'm trying to promote, and I would check what we get something from reception when we have guests checking in. We call it daily movement. So we get the guest names and so this is what I would do. I will go check who's checking in, and if I see there's any prominent individual, doesn't matter if I started at 6 o'clock and I'm supposed to go home at 2, I will remain until that guest check in, because I actually want to interact and introduce myself and offer services. Ma'am, do you need any ironing? Do you need that? Plus, there's a benefit. There's a benefit on top of it. You get a tip. So, as with PJ, I think I was on duty officially. So I went to a room to do 10 down, and I already heard from the morning shift that PJ is in the house. So, we've been checking, is she eating dinner? Is she in the room? I actually want to go when she's in the room and sitting alone. So I went to her room, I knocked, and she said, come in. Oh my goodness. I walked in, and PJ Powers in Xhosa, we call her Uthandeka. She's the darling of the nation, very nice, very sweet person. So, for me, I said, hi Mama, how are you? And she was, cool, I'm fine, thanks. And then I introduced myself. From there, I told her my story, and then she said to me, you know what, I'm invited here to come and speak at the women's event. So I think we must just swap. And I'm like, swap? It's like, I think you must be the guest speaker and I'll do the singing. I couldn't believe it. Me, guest speaker, I've never in my entire life, not even at church. Those who go to church with me know I don't even attempt to preach. I don't preach, I just sing. So I said to her, okay. You never turn down any opportunity, no, right? Plus, I was told you never say you don't know. You say yes, and then you go figure out.
Yeah.
So I said to her, yes, I'll do it. And then we went to Motherwell. I'm from Motherwell. Oh my Lord, how my English was also an issue, I must be honest. So now I can't speak Xhosa, even though the audience is Xhosa, because she must hear what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So I stood there and I started talking. I was also losing some air, couldn't breathe. When you start talking to a lot of people. But it was such a nice experience, to an extent that after I finished talking, people came to me. They were so inspired on how, at the age of 19, I did not give up on life, and I didn't care who was saying what. Because when you look at the cleaning job, there's a lot of stigma. I remember when I was cleaning at the mall, my peers would walk past me, I'm busy with a sweeper, they are busy shopping, and some people will make, fun of me. But then at the end of the day, like, money is money. Doesn't matter if I'm picking up papers from the street, or I'm sweeping the floor, or I'm cleaning whatever. At the end of the day, come month end, I have money. That was my mentality. So PJ was like, after that, well done. And she gave me the courage. And I actually went back home and said, I don't believe it. Me, standing in front of people and sharing my story. And the story back then was not as rich as it is now. It was just me, Francine the cleaner, and now front office. And I'm starting my company, was starting at the time. So she's part of the people who made me believe that I can.
You can.
And sharing a stage with her.
What a thing to do! I mean, and amazing that you accepted the challenge. I think 99% of people would have said no, thank you, I'm uncomfortable. But you did it. You put yourself out there. Not only that, you went back to your own community to do it. So that was incredible. If you think that was a life-changing thing, wasn't it?
It was.
So good on her as well. Plus, she got a break, of course, from speaking for the night because you can speak, Francine. There's no doubt about it.
and also, I think she just. I think in a way, she just affirmed that I've got this, I've got the good thing going.
Yeah.
You know, so when I look at what I told her back then, and she just said, you know what, your story is amazing. And at that time, I was still employed. And then she made me believe in myself even more.
At that stage, had you made the jump to the Mantis collection, the number 5, as we call it then? It was the Shamwari townhouse here in town. If anybody knows, it's a beautiful boutique hotel. But you actually took a pay cut to make that move, which actually opened up so many doors. Tell us about that.
Okay, so I will unpack it just like in the morning. So when we're talking number 5, I joined number 5 in 2009, after working in these different hotels, which is like from 1 star. If you understand the industry, we have star gradings. So we have 1 stars, 2 stars, 3 stars, up to 4 star. So when I applied for a job at Mantis, I was working at the Kelway Hotel, which is a 4-star hotel. And I was already a front office manager earning 7,500 rand. That's a lot of money,
It is here in South Africa. Not so much in Europe.
It's a lot of money. You know, it was a lot of money for me coming from earning 1.5, and it was an achievement. But then I always receive, you know, when you're working at front office, you always get guests that will complain. You know, guests complain over anything, whether when they're sick, they come and complain, you know, everything, small things. So you have guests who will complain, oh, your rooms are small, you know, I'm so used to 5-star. And I always wanted to know, what is 5-star? What is the difference between 4-star and 5? And no one could explain this thing to me. And when I Google and check in PE, there was no 5-star. Funny enough. So when Mantis Collection advertised, I think the advertisement was on the Herald, I applied for that job. And we went for interviews at Chinatown, the boardwalk center. There was a place called Chinatown right at the boardwalk. So I went there for interviews, and then I was shortlisted. I went for an interview at Shamwari Townhouse, which is now known as number 5. And then, I was lucky enough to get the job on the spot. Tanya and Ryan Plakanoris, they've interviewed me, and upon interviewing me, because I was talking, they said, you know what, you got the job, but we don't have a management job for you. We have a junior job, which is housekeeping supervisor, and the salary is 3.5. So for me, while I was sitting there, I'm looking at them, and I think they were expecting me to sort of say, I'm going home. I'm going to think about it and then let you know. I looked at them and said, I'm taking it. I'm taking it, because for me at that time, I was like, yes, I'm finally getting into this 5-star, environment. I'm going to learn, what is this 5-star? Why are guests always bragging about 5-star? So I made that decision there and there, and I took that job, went back to my old job, resigned. Gone with the privileges of being a boss to other people and giving instructions. I was back to reporting to someone else. But then, in life, you always know when you're good, you're good. You don't allow anyone to tell you otherwise. That's me. I don't allow anyone to tell me otherwise. So I knew that I'm going to smash this housekeeping job, and then I'm going to get another promotion. So lucky for me, it didn't take me long. I think my housekeeper back then, Gino, even said to me, "You are so good, and I think you deserve to be the housekeeping manager." So that's how nice she was. But I ended up being the housekeeping manager because she ended up joining another company. And then that was it.
But how many people, let's be honest, how many of us out there would take a pay cut to go to a job, go down in terms of your seniority, because you're looking at the end game, you're looking at progression, and that's exactly what happened. Within several months, you're back at a level, in fact, at a better level than you were originally. But that shows your faith and your belief in yourself. But there was somebody else, I believe, that also saw this ability. Someone we know quite well, of course, Mr. Adrian Gardner. I like to think that he saw something in me. He's commissioned me to write a book about the wildlife tourism here in the Eastern Cape. Brought me to Port Elizabeth, which I'll always be grateful for him to do that. But he can be a tough man. He's certainly a perfectionist. He's got his standards. But he saw something in you. How did that relationship work out?
Oh, it was not always been a good one. Those who know Mr. G, he's very tough. But I think he means well behind that. Because I remember when we started operating, he was very strict with systems and the way we do things around number 5. So I think that is where I got the eye for detail, because we were expected to deliver nothing but 5, if not 6, if not 7 star, as per Mr. G. And I remember him very well. When he walks in, everyone just runs away. Or he will just come in and see something wrong and the Fs will start flying. Not in a bad way, but in a good way. So we got used to that. And this is a man who knows what he wants. This is a man who has a vision, and we are here to make sure that we execute it well. But I think from him we learned a lot. But at the very same time, he had an eye, I think a very fun eye. He knew his staff members very, very well, because it's not just me. There's a lot of us that he has assisted, in terms of growth. So he's one of those people that has always been, Adrian is Adrian, and we can talk until tomorrow, but he has been good to me. I remember when Tanya sent me to Cape Town, Tanya obviously speaks to Adrian. Adrian doesn't understand stuff, on an individual basis, because Tanya is the manager. So I think Tanya spoke to him and said, there's a Francine at number 5, she's good or whatever. So I ended up being sent to Cape Town to train staff.
Tell me about that flight. Come on, you've got to tell me. It's my favourite story. First time on a plane when you went to Cape Town, wasn't it? Huh?
Yes.
So this lady from Motherwell trying to act like you're cool and you know the thing, and then you end up at PE Airport. What happens next?
Sure. So when I was told I'm going to Cape Town to train, I was excited. And I was told that, Francine, we've booked a flight for you. You'll be staying at Waterfront at the Low Hill apartment. And I'm like, this is very nice. I was so excited until I went to the airport. I was told you must have your ID, you must carry everything, and. So I went to the airport. First thing first, I went to the counter. I've done my check-in. Come back from the check-in, I need to go to the boarding gates. So those who know me, I don't drop the ball, and we see in Xhosa, I don't drop the ball. So I went to the airport. I'm following people. I see now boarding gates, but I'm not showing that I'm confused. But then I bought the plane, and then I didn't know that there's a seat number on the boarding ticket. So first seat on the flight, British Airways, Francine Zana, who is so used to taxis, just sits relaxed. And then here comes a guest. After a few minutes, sorry, ma'am. And most business class people are very serious. Sorry, ma'am, that's my seat. I saw that he's looking at his board, something, a piece of paper. I think he was verifying. Then he saw, sorry, that's my seat. I'm seat number. And then I looked at my number. Then I said, oh, okay. And then I started walking. But as I'm walking, I noticed on my piece of paper, which is the boarding pass, that there's actually a seat number. So I found my seat. Went there, it was very nice, but at first I was a bit nervous. When I landed is another thing. When I landed in Cape Town, I don't know, the exit, whatever, and I didn't want to ask anyone because this is my moment, okay? Allow me. So I walked around, and I was told someone is going to pick me up. So I saw people carrying boards, and there was my name, Francine Zana. Like, wow, girl. When you've cleaned rooms all your life, and all of a sudden you become a guest. Because when I went to the hotel, me and my suitcase, very composed, obviously, standing in front of reception and saying, "Hi, my name is Francine Zana, I'm checking in." Oh, it felt so good.
Did it?
Because most of the time, I'm the other side. I'm welcoming people and I'm cleaning rooms and making sure they are well. But this day, on that specific day, I was a guest. I was on the receiving end and it felt so good. It struck the flight store.
Don't you think it's this yearning for overnight, instant gratification, overnight success that perhaps puts people off, especially with our younger generation who want that kind of result quickly? Do you think that's something that we have to sort of embrace?
I also think social media puts a lot of pressure to a lot of people. So that's why it is also very important to understand who you are and where you come from before you tap into that space. Otherwise, if you're going to tap in because the others are doing it, you are in problem. I always tell people, I'll make an example as someone who's consulting and training in hospitality, and then I have someone who say, "Oh, says Francine, you travel too much. I want to study tourism." And I'll ask her, why? One reason, why do you want to study tourism and hospitality? And the answer will be, "I want to travel." Wrong answer. You're not going to travel. You're not going to travel by studying tourism. So the problem is looking at what the other person is doing and think it's easy. There's a lot of things that today I've shared for the business breakfast. I've shared our interview. I'm sharing this one as well. I'm not sharing what I'm going through behind the scenes. I have a business challenge as I'm sitting here, but nobody knows about it. So social media at some point plays a big role. People want to start now and be successful tomorrow. It took me years. I don't want to tell lies. It took me years. People who know me from PE, I use my taxi, peacefully so, backpack, and I walk, mind my own business. I think it comes with the fact that one needs to be content and know who you are. I'm basically saying the same thing over and over again, but it's simple. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Gary, can we just bring up the message from Sipakazi? Well, Ayanda, never get tired of your story, truly inspirational. I see Sipakazi, I'm so proud of you, my darling. You're awesome, Fran. I mean, you can see there's an absolute, you are an inspiration. You are that role model you were looking for. And people want a piece of that journey. They want to tell this story. And I believe none other than Netflix has approached you. You've been approached by BBC. And I'm sure people watching would say, well, where is this? Where it's available? But you turned them down. Yeah. Why did you do that?
I think in life in general, it's. I asked you earlier on, do you have wisdom? I think it's very important to look at some deals, business deals or whatever, and when your gut feeling is telling you you're not ready, you turn it down. I don't look at numbers. I'm one of the people that I look at it. Yes, big money, but what is it in for me? How much are they going to make out of me? I'm not saying Netflix, no? I'm not saying Netflix, just talking in general. Yeah. So I was attending a conference in Johannesburg, and I met their representative, Netflix Africa and BBC. They were so interested listening to my story, but I said, I'm not ready. When the time is right, I'll come back and tell you guys that I'm ready, because I don't understand the industry. I don't understand what it means having people following me and me telling them everything, documenting everything. How much are they going to make? And how much am I going to benefit? Big question. It's not about me getting this one lump sum. How much are they going to make? Because this thing will be playing. So it's more about understanding for me. I need to understand, have someone from that space making me understand. Do I have to shoot this and have the rights, or what is the story? I'm not from that side. I'm from the hospitality sector. So, but when I'm ready, when the time is right.
So we will see the movie. Who will play Francine Zana in that movie?
My younger sister.
Your younger sister?
She looks just like me.
Okay.
I'm joking.
And your husband, perhaps John Travolta, you never know.
Yeah. But I'm sure he'll be an old toppy. But that time will come when I'm ready. I'll tap into that. But for now, I'm still good.
No, you are still
building.
Good. You are still good. I mean, look at these comments coming through. Great admiration for this brilliant lady, and she is indeed. Taryn, a lovely lady that we work with, a truly phenomenal, uplifting story. Well done, Francine.
Thank you.
You recognise and create opportunity, and that's exactly it. We've used the word inspiration, but the other thing is opportunity, and I think you've taken your opportunities in life.
Yeah.
I'm so privileged to have got to know you over the past few weeks. We've got to know each other, and I think we're going to follow each other's journey.
Yeah.
I think we are, and we'll keep each other in check, which is the main thing. And I hope everybody out there has enjoyed today as much as I have, because this is really good, a feel-good story, but a real story of someone from here, in Port Elizabeth, Our Bay, Motherwell, Cwcha originally, who is making such a difference to people's lives, and I'd like to thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Thank you, everybody. I look forward to seeing you on the next Frontierland. Have a good evening. Thank you.